The world knows exactly where you are, what you want, and how to stop you. Every time you open your mouth to announce your next big move, you are committing psychological suicide. You are bleeding out your potential before it ever has a chance to take root. Most men fail because they are addicted to the applause of people who haven't even seen them perform yet. You are not most men. Or at least, you cannot afford to be anymore. You have spent your entire life trading your future power for a cheap, immediate hit of relevance. You post the gym photo before the workout is finished. You tell your friends about the business before the first dollar is earned. You announce the transformation before you've even faced the first demon of discipline. You are living a life of public announcements and private stagnation. It stops today. Your brain is a biological machine designed for efficiency, and right now, you are hacking it in the worst way possible. When you share a goal, your brain receives a premature dopamine reward. It feels the satisfaction of the achievement without the agony of the effort. You've tricked your mind into thinking you've already won, so the hunger dies. The edge is gone. The pressure that should have been used to forge your character is instead vented out into the air as useless talk. You are starving your ambition to feed your ego. This is why you feel so motivated after a deep conversation about your future, only to find yourself paralyzed and distracted 24 hours later. The energy is gone because you gave it away for free. You traded the throne for a like, a nod, and a good job from people who don't even care if you succeed. Validation is a drug, and you are a high-functioning addict. Every time you seek external approval, you are handing over the keys to your internal drive. If you need them to see it to believe it, you will never believe in yourself when the room is empty. And the room will be empty when the real work begins. Constant observation is a cage. When people expect things from you, you begin to perform for their expectations rather than your own standards. You become a slave to the image you've created. You are paralyzed by the fear of failing in front of an audience, so you play it safe. You stay within the boundaries of what is acceptable and relatable. But greatness is neither acceptable nor relatable. It is a lonely, violent process of self-destruction and reconstruction. To build something that lasts, you must first become a ghost to the world that wants to keep you average. This isn't about an emotional breakdown. This isn't about taking a break because you're overwhelmed or hiding because you're afraid. This is a cold, calculated, strategic withdrawal. It is the ghost strategy. It is the realization that your current social circle, your current habits, and your current need to be seen are the very things keeping you weak. You are currently a known variable. Your enemies can predict you. Your friends can distract you. The algorithm can control you. By disappearing, you remove yourself from the equation of average life. You create a vacuum. While everyone else is busy broadcasting their mediocrity, you will be in the shadows, becoming something they cannot comprehend. You are not leaving because you are finished. You are leaving so that you can finally begin. The danger of living under constant observation is that you never truly meet yourself. You only meet the version of you that others want to see. You have been wearing a mask for so long that you've forgotten the face underneath. The face of the predator, the builder, the man who doesn't need a witness to prove his worth. When you disappear, the noise stops. The feedback loop of social validation is severed. In that silence, you will find a terrifying clarity. You will realize how much of your ambition was just a performance. You will realize how much of your personality was just a reaction to other people. This is the identity break. You must kill the man you are to make room for the man you are meant to become. Most people cannot handle more than 48 hours of true solitude without reaching for a screen to remind the world they still exist. They are terrified of being forgotten. You must embrace it. You must crave the feeling of being irrelevant to the masses. There is a specific kind of power that only grows in the dark. It is a dense, heavy energy that accumulates when you work without credit, when you sweat without a camera, and when you suffer without a complaint. This is the foundation of the ghost strategy. It is not a retreat, it is a siege. You are pulling back your forces, consolidating your resources, and preparing for a strike that no one will see coming because they forgot you were even in the race. Think about the last time you truly surprised someone. Not with a gift or a joke, but with a sudden, massive shift in your capability. It's rare, isn't it? That's because you usually leak your progress in small, pathetic drips. You show the 1% improvement every day until the final result is boring. You've robbed yourself of the shock factor. You've robbed yourself of the dominance that comes from a sudden reveal. The ghost strategy restores that power. It turns your life into a black box. Input goes in, work, pain, study, discipline, but nothing comes out until the output is so undeniable that it reshapes the environment. You are building a discipline fortress, and the first rule of the fortress is that no one gets to look inside until the walls are impenetrable. You have been playing a game where the rules are rigged against you. You've been told that networking is the key, that visibility is power, and that you need to build a brand. These are lies told by people who want to sell you the tools to stay average. True power is not branded. True power is felt. It is the atmospheric shift that happens when a man who has mastered himself enters a room. That mastery cannot be faked, and it cannot be built while you are busy managing your digital reputation. You must disappear. You must become a myth in your own social circles. Let them wonder. Let them gossip. Let them assume you've failed. Their assumptions are the camouflage under which you will thrive. In the coming weeks, your resolve will be tested. The urge to check back in, to post a status, to call an old friend just to hear them say your name, it will be overwhelming. That is the addiction talking. That is the weak version of you begging for its life. Do not give in. Every time you resist the urge to be seen, you add a brick to your fortress. Every time you choose the work over the credit, you increase your internal tension. And tension is what creates the spring. The longer you can hold that tension, the further you will fly when you finally release. But we are nowhere near the release yet. We are in the phase of the void. The void is where the ego goes to die. And it must die. Your ego is the part of you that wants the reward before the work. It's the part that cares about looking like a winner more than actually winning. In the ghost strategy, we starve the ego until it is small enough to be controlled. We feed the work instead. We feed the obsession. We feed the dark, quiet parts of the soul that only care about objective reality, numbers, strength, skill, results. This is the transformation. You are shifting from a person who reacts to the world into a person who acts upon it. You might think you're missing out. You might see the parties, the gatherings, the opportunities passing you by while you stay hidden. Understand this. Nothing of value is happening out there. It is a loop of the same conversations, the same distractions, and the same people getting older without getting better. By staying in the shadows, you are gaining the only currency that matters, time and focus. While they are spending their energy on maintaining a facade, you are investing yours into an arsenal. You are becoming a weapon in a world of ornaments. The ghost strategy isn't just about what you do, it's about what you stop doing. You stop explaining yourself. You stop justifying your choices. You stop seeking consensus. If you are watching this, you are already feeling the pull of the void. You know that your current path is a dead end of public approval and private emptiness. You know that there is a version of you that is vastly more powerful, but he is buried under the noise of your social obligations. To find him, you have to go where the noise can't follow. As you move into this phase, realize that the people around you will try to pull you back. They will call it concerning. They will say you've changed. They will try to guilt you into returning to the collective mediocrity. This is the first test of your new strength. If you can't say no to a dinner invitation, you will never be able to say no to the weaknesses that live inside your own mind. Silence is your shield. Invisibility is your weapon. You are no longer playing their game. You are building your own. The psychological shift required here is total. You must learn to love the anonymity. You must find a twisted sense of pleasure in the fact that everyone thinks they know who you are, while you are secretly evolving into someone they won't even recognize. This is the ultimate form of control. When you control the information the world has about you, you control the world's ability to influence you. You are becoming an anomaly, a ghost in the machine. But disappearing is only the beginning. It is the setup for the most productive period of your life. In the darkness, your senses will sharpen. Without the constant input of other people's opinions, your own intuition will start to speak louder. You will start to see the flaws in your own logic that you were too distracted to notice before. You will see the gaps in your skills that you were too proud to admit. This is where the real growth happens, not in the highlight reel, but in the brutal, honest self-critique that can only happen when you are truly alone. Most people are terrified of this level of honesty. They use the crowd to hide from themselves. You are going to use the silence to find yourself. And what you find might not be pretty at first. It will be raw, unrefined, and full of potential. That is the clay you will use to build your new life. But you have to be willing to sit with that rawness without reaching for a distraction. You have to be willing to be nothing for a while so that you can eventually become everything. This is the price of admission for the ghost strategy. It is a high price, which is why so few are willing to pay it. But the rewards are beyond the comprehension of the average mind. You are playing for the long game. You are playing for legacy, for total dominance, and for a level of self-mastery that makes you untouchable. The world can keep its likes and its temporary fame. You are after something much more permanent. We are just scratching the surface of what happens when a man truly decides to vanish. The mechanics of the discipline fortress, and the way you accumulate power while the world thinks you've quit are what separate the temporary successes from the legends. If you think you're ready to stay in the shadows while everyone else is screaming for attention, then you are ready for the next level. This is not a path for the weak-hearted. This is for the man who is tired of being a background character in his own life and is ready to become the architect of a new reality. Before we go deeper into the mechanics of the ghost strategy, you need to make a choice. If you are here to just watch another video and feel motivated for 10 minutes, leave now. This content is a waste of your time. But if you feel that cold spark in your chest, that realization that you have been giving your power away for too long, then you belong here. The path of the ghost is narrow, and it is silent. Are you prepared to be forgotten so that you can finally be remembered for something that matters? The transition from being a talker to a ghost is the most difficult psychological shift you will ever make. It requires you to override your deepest social instincts. But once you cross that threshold, you will realize that the social world was just a series of mirrors reflecting your own insecurities back at you. When you step away from the mirrors, you finally see the horizon. And on that horizon, there is only the work. In the next stage, we will break down exactly how to build your discipline fortress, the mental and physical environment where your power will be forged. We will discuss how to starve the ego without losing your mind, and how to use the ghost advantage to outpace your competition by years in a matter of months. This is where the theory becomes practice. This is where the ghost begins to haunt the dreams of those who doubted him. The strategy is set. The door is closing. The world is looking the other way. This is your moment to slip out of the light and into the shadows where the real work happens. Do not look back. There is nothing for you behind you. Everything you ever wanted is waiting for you in the silence. The world thinks you've quit. Let them. In the silence of your absence, they have already filled the void with their own assumptions. They think you've lost your spark, that you've burnt out, or that you simply didn't have what it takes. This is your greatest competitive advantage. While they are busy pitying you, you are busy becoming a god of your own craft. This is the implementation of the ghost strategy, the transition from withdrawal to the construction of your discipline fortress. You are no longer trying to improve. You are undergoing a systematic overhaul of your entire existence, and you are doing it in a space where no one can track your progress, predict your trajectory, or offer their unsolicited, soul-crushing opinions. The discipline fortress is not a physical location, though a private room or a quiet gym helps. It is a psychological state of total isolation. Inside these walls, you starve the ego to feed the work. The ego is a parasite that thrives on looking successful. In the fortress, looking successful is a crime. You are here to be effective, not impressive. You must adopt a radical form of self-honesty that would be impossible in the presence of an audience. When people are watching, you subconsciously hide your weaknesses. You polish the exterior while the foundation rots. In the ghost strategy, you do the opposite. You tear down the exterior and fixate on the flaws. You spend hours refining a single movement, a single line of code, a single business process that no one will ever see but you. This is the phase of private obsession. Most people find obsession scary because it looks like madness from the outside. To the ghost, obsession is the only path to mastery. You are not balancing your life right now. You are unbalancing it in favor of your singular goal. The world preaches balance because balance keeps you safe, and safe keeps you average. You are looking for the edge. You are staying up when the world sleeps, not to post a hustle quote on your story, but to solve a problem that has defeated everyone else. There is no one to tell you, "Good job," at 3 a.m. There is only the cold realization that you are still 3 steps behind where you need to be. This is where the iron enters your soul. Working in total silence creates a psychological phenomenon known as information asymmetry. In any conflict, be it business, sport, or social hierarchy, the person with the most hidden information wins. When you broadcast your progress, you give your competition a roadmap to beat you. You show them your pace, your methods, and your mindset. But as a ghost, you are a black hole. They see the results, but they cannot see the process. They see the power, but they cannot find the source. This creates a terrifying aura of inevitability. When you finally re-emerge, you won't just be better, you will be unrecognizable. You will have skipped 10 levels while they were still trying to figure out where you went. The fortress requires you to cut off the digital leash. Your phone is a portal through which the world steals your focus and feeds your ego. Every notification is a reminder that you are still tethered to the opinions of others. To win, you must become unreachable. Let the emails pile up. Let the texts go unanswered. If it isn't moving the needle in your fortress, it doesn't exist. You are creating a vacuum of attention. This vacuum will eventually pull in massive opportunities, but only if you have the discipline to stay in the dark long enough to build something worth noticing. Most men fail because they leave the fortress too early. They see a small gain and immediately run to the town square to shout about it. They are weak. They have no stomach for the long, cold winter of anonymity. In the shadows, you must become your own harshest critic. Since there is no external validation to guide you, your internal standards must become absolute. You are no longer comparing yourself to the losers on your social media feed. You are comparing yourself to the idealized, perfected version of the man you are becoming. Every rep, every hour of study, every strategic decision must be scrutinized with a level of cruelty that would break a normal person. You are forging a weapon. You do not ask the blade how it feels about the hammer. You just keep striking until the edge is sharp enough to cut through reality itself. This private refinement is where true confidence is born. Not the fake, loud confidence of the "fake it till you make it" crowd, but the quiet, heavy confidence of a man who knows exactly what he is capable of because he has done it 1,000 times in the dark. You don't need to tell people you're dangerous. When you've spent months in the ghost strategy, you carry that danger in your posture, in your eyes, and in the way you speak. It is a biological fact that cannot be hidden. You have become a man of substance in a world of shadows. The ghost strategy also protects you from the tall poppy syndrome. When people see you growing, their first instinct is to cut you down to their level. They will offer friendly advice that is actually a disguised attempt to slow you down. They will remind you of your past failures to keep you humble. By disappearing, you deny them the opportunity to sabotage you. You grow in a vacuum where their envy cannot reach you. By the time they realize you've surpassed them, the gap is already too wide to bridge. You haven't just won the race, you've changed the game entirely. But understand this, the fortress can be a lonely place. There will be days when the silence feels like a weight. There will be nights when you question if any of this is worth it. This is the psychological threshold. This is where the ghost is truly born. If you can endure the isolation without losing your mind, you earn the right to the power that comes after. You are proving to yourself that your drive is internal, not external. You are proving that you don't need a cheerleader to stay in the fight. This self-reliance is the ultimate form of freedom. While you are in this state, your focus compounds. Without the friction of social interaction, your cognitive load is dedicated entirely to your objective. You will find that you can accomplish in 1 month of ghosting what used to take you 6 months of balanced living. This is the ghost advantage. You are moving at a different frequency. You are thinking in centuries while they are thinking in seconds. You are building a legacy while they are building a profile. You must also learn the art of selective invisibility. Even within your fortress, you may have to interact with the world occasionally. The key is to remain a ghost even when you are seen. Speak less than necessary. Reveal nothing of your true progress. Act as if you are still the same person they remember, while secretly observing them with your new, sharpened senses. You will be shocked at how much people reveal about their own weaknesses when they think you are no longer a threat. This is tactical reconnaissance. You are gathering the intelligence you will need for your eventual return to the light. The discipline fortress is where you kill your need to be understood. Most people are desperate for others to see their heart, to know their intentions, and to validate their struggles. The ghost doesn't care. Let them misunderstand you. Let them think the worst. Their opinion has no power over the work. When your results finally speak, they will speak with a volume that renders all previous misunderstandings irrelevant. Power is built in the silence before it is ever seen in the light. As we move toward the final phase of this strategy, you must prepare for the sudden reveal. This is not a gradual return to society. This is a surgical strike. It is the moment where the work is finished, the weapon is forged, and you step back into the world not to ask for a seat at the table, but to take the entire room. But before that can happen, you must complete your time in the dark. You must finish the transformation. Are you still working, or are you just waiting? The fortress has no room for waiters. You are currently in the middle of the most important transition of your life. The bridge between who you were and who you will be is built entirely of silent hours. Every time you think about breaking your silence, remember the cost. Remember the cheap dopamine you used to crave and compare it to the absolute, undeniable dominance you are currently constructing. The ghost does not settle for crumbs. The ghost wants the kingdom. Stay in the fortress. Feed the work. Let the world continue its loud, slow descent into irrelevance. Your time is coming, but only if you can handle the weight of being a ghost for just a little while longer. The next step is the most dangerous part of the strategy, the return. If you do it wrong, you lose everything. If you do it right, you become a legend. The silence is about to break, but not because you decided to scream. It breaks because the gravity of your results has become so heavy that the world can no longer ignore the shift in the atmosphere. This is the final stage of the ghost strategy, the undeniable reveal. Most men spend their lives begging for a seat at the table, rehearsing their pitches, and polishing their resumes. You are not going to ask for permission. You are going to walk into the room with a level of competence so absolute that the hierarchy reshapes itself around you. When focus compounds in total silence, the outcome is not just success, it is inevitable dominance. While you were a ghost, the talkers were busy wasting their ammunition. They spent their energy on the appearance of progress, leaving them hollow when the real conflict arrived. You, however, have been stockpiling. You have built a reservoir of skill, capital, and mental fortitude that they cannot comprehend. The power of a sudden, undeniable reveal lies in the shock. When a man disappears as a peasant and returns as a king, he bypasses the traditional filters of society. There is no time for them to envy you, no time for them to sabotage you, and no time for them to compete. By the time they realize the game has started, you have already won. This is the difference between an executor and a talker. A talker needs the world to agree with his potential, an executor forces the world to acknowledge his results. Results are the only language that requires no translation and no defense. You don't need to explain your comeback or justify your absence. The work you did in the dark will now illuminate everything. People will ask, where did he come from? And, how did he do it? They will look for a secret, a shortcut, or a stroke of luck. They will never suspect the brutal, lonely hours in the disciplined fortress because they don't have the stomach to survive them. Let them believe in magic. You know it was masonry. However, the reveal is the most dangerous moment for your soul. Success brings a different kind of noise, the noise of praise. Attention is a more potent drug than neglect, and it is here that most ghosts die. They achieve one victory, hear the applause, and immediately revert to their old ways. They become addicted to the winner identity and start performing for the cameras again. You must handle attention without losing your edge. You must learn to walk through the fire of fame without letting it warm your heart. The ghost strategy does not end when you win, it evolves into the perpetual ghost mindset. To stay at the top, you must remain selectively invisible. Even after you have achieved the wealth, the physique, or the status, you must keep the world at arm's length. Never show your full hand. Never reveal your entire process. Stay a mystery. Let the world see the output, but never let them see the engine. By remaining a perpetual ghost, You ensure that you can never be fully mapped or countered. You stay a moving target. You continue to do your deepest work in the shadows, emerging only to deliver the final blow. You are in the world, but not of it. You are the architect who builds the skyscraper but stays off the guest list for the grand opening. This is the Stoic realization of power. True control is internal. If your sense of worth depends on the world seeing your success, you are still a slave. But if you can win in total silence and feel the same level of satisfaction as if a million people were watching, you have achieved the ultimate psychological transformation. You have broken the chains of external validation. You are now powered by a nuclear reactor of self-standardization. You do the work because the work is who you are, not because of what the work can buy you. This makes you dangerous. This makes you untouchable. The ghost strategy is more than a productivity hack. It is a philosophical commitment to the idea that power is built before it is seen. The seed does its most important work under the dirt, in the dark, where no one is cheering for it. If you dig it up every day to show people how much it's grown, it will die. You have been digging up your potential for years just to get a good job. No more. You have learned to stay under the surface until your roots are deep enough to support a titan. Now, the command is simple. You have the map. You have the strategy. But most people watching this will still fail. They will feel the chills for 5 minutes and then go back to their feeds to see who noticed them. They will choose the warmth of the crowd over the cold of the fortress. Prove that you are different. Do not comment. Do not share. Do not announce that you are going ghost. Just do it. Let your absence be the only notification they receive. The world is loud, weak, and distracted. It is a playground for the man who can control his own attention and vanish at will. Your life as a performer is over. Your life as a ghost has begun. Build your fortress. Feed the work. Starve the ego. When you finally return, do not come back to talk. Come back to rule. If you have the discipline to remain in the shadows while everyone else screams for a spotlight, you have already won the psychological war. The transition is complete. Now, go into the dark and stay there until the work is finished. Stay silent. Stay invisible. Stay dangerous. Subscribe to the code of the ghost if you are ready to build what cannot be ignored. The next phase of your evolution is already waiting. Watch the next video to learn how to weaponize the silence you've just created. Your training has only just begun. Proceed to the shadows.